Good morning, everybody. Can everybody hear me okay? Who is excited about a great day here at Sailors Pond today? Long time in the making. This project is probably more than 30 years in the making. Just by introductions, my name is David Murphy, and I'm proud to serve as the Mayor's Commissioner of Natural Resources. He's put together a department 8 years ago for projects just like this one. Originally, it was working with Sheldon Bennett and the folks at Butler's Pond. It was the restoration of Furnace Brook, and now this very important project to this neighborhood, the restoration of Sailors Pond. I know a lot of you that lived in this neighborhood for a long time can remember when this place teemed with frogs and toads and turtles and fish, and it really can be the city's best outdoor classroom in all of Quincy. And none of this would be possible without the support of a lot of people. Foremost among them is Mayor Thomas Koch. So if you can give the mayor a round of applause for his continued support, not just for this project, but projects like this throughout the city. I do also want to thank the City Council that voted to support this project. I know former Ward 5 City Councilor Dan Minton is here. I want to thank him for his continued support of this project. And along with former Ward 5 Councilor Chuck Phelan, who has been an advocate for this pond for almost 3 decades. I also want to thank the Community Preservation Committee and our Grants Management Department, who landed a $1 million state grant to stretch the available local dollars we have to make this project possible. So a lot of people to thank. We're going to get into that quite thoroughly. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce our great mayor, Mayor Thomas Koch.
Thank you, David. Commissioner Murphy's doing an outstanding job for us. You go across this city, this great city, and you see the public spaces and parks and playgrounds all across the city, and they're all in tip-top shape. So thanks, Commissioner, for you and your team's work. You know, we have a great city, and I see so many young people here. Projects like this is the reason we do it. It's always about the future. You know, we're a city of 27 miles of coastline, hundreds of acres of marshland, hundreds of parks. Well, you can include all the little pocket parks and all the major fields, probably 100 places. More than 20,000 trees on our streets. For an urban setting, we're a beautiful city with great natural resources, and it's incumbent upon us to maintain those assets. I know I take a lot of criticism as they say we spend too much money, and we're investing. We're investing back into our environment. We're investing into our parks and our streets and our schools. That's what we're supposed to be doing. So I'm just so grateful, the team that put this together, Act Marine, Weston and Sampson, Heather, been phenomenal in so many ways. Dave mentioned we created the Natural Resources Department a number of years ago. You know, the old days we were barely getting the grass cut. We're in a position today now where we can do projects like this because we have the talent, the staff, and the budget to do it. So congratulations to the entire team. I'm looking forward to getting the turtles back home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And the mayor mentioned the talent that we have here in the city, and I'd like to next introduce a woman that I call our secret weapon. When the mayor talked about the Department of Natural Resources and creating the position of environmental scientist, I think nobody really recognized that the level of talent we'd able to draw in Heather Liss, our environmental scientist. This has been a labor of love for her. I know not just her, but her entire family has been involved in this project from the outset. And I'd like to introduce Heather to say a few words about her experience with the project.
Thank you so much, Mayor Koch, Commissioner Murphy. I really appreciate that. Unlike these two well-versed orators, I have some notes here, so I don't forget anybody. I just wanted to start by saying thank you so much and welcome to beautiful Sailors Home Pond. This is for all of you, and I appreciate that you are here. So this project, this dredging restoration project, it was just a tremendous amount of effort by so many people and agencies, and I'd like to take a minute to thank them. And though it's been said already by Commissioner Murphy, I'd like to start with Mayor Thomas Koch. Thank you so much, Mayor Koch. Appreciate your support. I appreciate your foresight in creating the Department of Natural Resources and the Environmental Conservation Division, and in really prioritizing restoring our sometimes overlooked but really very valuable open spaces and natural resources like Sailor's Home Pond. Thank you so much. And I'd like to also thank the City Council, both past and present members, as well as the Community Preservation Committee. Everyone has been tremendously supportive, whether voting for the funding, whether coming to public meetings, responding to inquiries and spreading information to the constituents, and supporting me in so many other ways, reaching out. I really very much appreciate that. Thank you all so much. Yes, they definitely deserve a round of applause. I'd also like to thank the State Executive Office of Economic Development for providing us with that generous grant. That was through their pilot round of an inland dredging program through the Massachusetts Dredging Program. I'm so happy for their support. And I would also like to thank Commissioner Murphy for his leadership and oversight of this project, and for being involved and supportive every step of the way, and also being dedicated to our natural resources. Thank you, Commissioner Murphy. So the story of Sailor's Home Pond really begins and ends with all of you, the members of the public. In my files, I have an old article clipping from a newspaper in the 2000s, and it talks about residents banding together to clean up the pond, as well as to, let me look and see exactly what it said, to, quote, rescue a dying pond. And I look around and I see a few people here today that are mentioned in that very article, as well as this terrific turnout. And really, we couldn't do projects like this without the support of all of you. So give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you. So we had a terrific team of professionals that came together to make this project happen, to do the hard work. And, you know, it would be daunting to mention every single name, but I really do want to give a shout out to all the folks that worked on it and tell you a little bit about what went into the project. So starting with Weston and Sampson. Weston and Sampson is our engineering consulting firm on this project. In particular, I want to thank Darren Kirkjian, Andrea Spruch, Eric Lundgren, Matt McGuire, and Frank Ossipinti. A couple of those folks, Darren and Frank, are right here. Please give them a round of applause. They're terrific. You can give them a wave. So they have been with this project since the very beginning, going back to 2016, 2017, when we first did some I actually was not involved, I shouldn't say we, but when they were involved with some sediment testing and really looking at what can we do to restore this pond? How can we make this healthy again? It's obviously been a long process. Come full circle to the current project, they did all of the design engineering, the plans, the oversight, the construction management, helping with the bidding, the licensed site professional services, you name it. They took all of my many phone calls, we brainstormed together, and quite frankly, I could not have done it without Weston and Sampson. Thank you so much. And then that brings me to ACK Marine and General Contracting, located right here in Quincy. They have been nothing short of phenomenal. They're the ones that actually came in here and dredged the pond, which let me tell you is not an easy process for any pond, never mind one that's with the site constraints that this has tucked in the neighborhood. They were simply fantastic, figuring out how can we get this done. In particular, I'd like to thank Barry Belcastro, Michael Boucher, Ed Dukery, Jimmy Barrett, Sean Kennedy, and the entire team. And give a wave. We have with us Barry and Michael are right over there. Thank you so much for being here. And by the way, they were on schedule and within budget, which is amazing. So there were a number of subcontractors, specialized subcontractors that helped. I'm going to run through them real quickly. Steel Associates did the bathymetry of the pond topography, the contours before and after. Bogan Tree came in, they're right here in Quincy as well, and did some tree work to provide access to the pond. Civil and Environmental Consultants and Charter Contracting Company did an incredible job with the sediment management and disposal, which is no easy feat. By the way, all the sediment from this pond is being beneficially reused for a landfill closure project, which is great. Mon Landscaping, later in the project, they cleaned up and restored the upland areas around the pond. And then Armstrong Fence put in this great post and rail fence that you see in front of us. And finally, GEI Consultants designed the brand new observation deck and bench to my left and your right. a terrific new amenity to the pond. So ACK was able to coordinate all of those subcontractors, get all of their work done, that minor detail of the dredging, and ACK also constructed that beautiful deck. So it has had nonstop use since it went in. If you haven't checked it out, I hope that you'll do so today and that you enjoy it. Thank you, ACK. So this project involved a bit of upland restoration as well. There are some new native trees, shrubs, and herbaceous plantings around the observation deck. Those were provided by New England Wetland Plants and Bigelow Nurseries and installed by O'Donnell Landscaping. They are all native plants. Over time, they'll naturalize and fill in, and we will have a really beautiful, ecologically friendly, colorful, and pollinator-friendly buffer around the pond in this area, so I can't wait. And now quickly moving, yes, so thanks to those companies. So moving briefly to the pond itself, I would like to thank Water and Wetland. They are our aquatic management specialists. They have been working to keep this pond healthy for many years, doing everything that they could up to dredging to do what they could to help preserve this pond and try to keep it healthy. And we will continue to work with them to make sure the pond stays healthy. I know a lot of people love these beautiful aerator fountains. Water and Wetland are the folks that put those in for us every year. So let's give them a round of applause as well. There are many city departments that have helped on the project. I'd just like to name those departments for you because they are also behind the scenes day in and day out, really helping make this a special place. My own Department of Natural Resources, the Mayor's Office, Purchasing Department, Grants Management, Municipal Finance, the Traffic Parking Alarm and Lighting folks, the Police Department, both those last two are here today and helped set everything up. Inspectional Services, and the Department of Public Works. DPW gets a special shout out because they really kicked things off very early on, doing the impetus for this project in the early years before we had a Department of Natural Resources. And they've been very helpful as we've gotten things underway, and particularly with some of the stormwater repairs and improvements that we've made. Finally, there are a number of regulatory agencies that we had to go through for our permitting process, and they provide a lot of wonderful guidance along the way. The Army Corps of Engineers, Department of Environmental Protection, and our local Conservation Commission, unsung heroes who also reviewed the project, and they made sure that these turtles were taken care of, the stars of today's show. And of course, Mass Wildlife, the Department of Fisheries and Game. Those folks helped us with turtle advice and turtle permitting. And that brings me to the stars of the show, our turtle friends. So I need to give a thank you to a few of the folks that helped with the turtles, because I certainly could not have done that alone. We have from the New England Herpetological Society and Cape Ann Vernal Pond team, Joe Martinez, who is here today, and Rick Roth. Thank you so much. They are true turtle experts. They were in the pond with me. And by the way, if you followed the Butler's Pond restoration, they helped with that as well and did a terrific job. Also, Zoo New England, they are also here today with the table. Check them out. Brian Windmiller, an absolute turtle and wildlife expert, also got in the pond, shared all of his expertise and his equipment with us to get the turtles. Thank you so much, Brian. And of course, the New England Wildlife Center, where these turtles spent the last year. So with the help of these turtle experts, we netted up these elusive residents of the pond. We sent them to the Wildlife Center for an extended vacation. And with the winter we just had, I am sure they are very grateful. So in particular, I really want to thank Dr. Greg Mertz, Zach Mertz, Dr. Priya Patel, Katrina Bergman, and the entire team at New England Wildlife Center. Their professionalism, their compassion, their care for these turtles is unmatched. And they not only housed them, fed them, but gave them outstanding medical care as needed. And so they will be helping release them today. Thank you so much to all of these folks. Please give them a round of applause. All right, nearing the end here, a lot of volunteers helped. There were friends, family, interns, members of the public who jumped in the canoe, jumped in the water, helped with the turtles. You know who you are. I won't put you all on the spot, but give yourselves a round of applause. And, really, I could not have done it without you. As I say in Scouts, it had to be the buddy system, and I really, truly could not have caught all the turtles or done what I did here without them. And finally, my own family and friends, just a personal shout out to them. Their love and support is really what makes it possible for me to do the work that I do. And one of the reasons I love restoration work so much is for the next generation. You know, my own kids, Ian and Zoe, you are my inspiration, and I am so glad that I could do this work, partly for you guys. So, lastly, the real stars of the show, our friends, the turtles of Sailor's Home Pond. We have snapping turtles and we have eastern painted turtles today that are all going back in the pond, 22 of them total. We are going to be set up along the fence here. We're going to release them in batches, so 4 or so at a time. So you can come right up to the fence, get a great view, and then if you don't see one batch, you'll certainly be able to see another. We can rotate out. But before we do that, I'd just like to turn the mic over to Brian Windmiller and to Zach Mertz from the New England Wildlife Center to say a few words. Oh, there's Brian. So this is Brian Windmiller from Zoo New England, who's going to say a few words about the turtles.
Thanks, Heather. Hi, everybody. I'll be pretty brief. First, I just want to say I've worked in wildlife conservation around Massachusetts and New England for a fair while. And I want to say just a huge thank you to Heather, to the city of Quincy, to all of you, because projects like this, pond dredging, happen all the time. There are tens of thousands of ponds in Massachusetts, and people dredge them for a variety of reasons all the time. And really rarely do people pay any attention at all to the wildlife that are going to be affected by that. And for all of you, for the city of Quincy to have put the effort and the planning in to do this in a way that benefits the humans around here as well as the wildlife in the pond, just a huge thank you and shout out to you all for that. And finally, I just want to note, kind of on a bigger picture, I was just watching a retrospective about David Attenborough, who just turned 100 years old. And, you watch David going to see mountain gorillas in Rwanda, or, playing with penguins off the coast of Chile, and looking for snow leopards in Mongolia and stuff like that. And that image of wildlife being in wild places really sticks with us, and it sticks with professional biologists too. But the truth is that most of the humans in the world live in places that are not wild, and increasingly, so much of our wildlife lives in places like that too. And the wildlife, like the turtles here, and the cormorants, the fish, all of that enrich this neighborhood, they also depend on us on simply making room, on doing small things that allow us to live together with them. So again, something like this, I just want to thank you all and thank the city of Quincy for making room and making it possible for the turtles to continue to live amongst you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian. We really appreciate that. I said it before, but I just want to make sure everyone heard that we do have educational displays set up. I invite you to visit those well and after the turtle release is actually happening. Zoo New England is here, the New England Herpetological Society, the New England Wildlife Center has a display. There are some live animals that you can check out, some turtles and a surprise animal that's a different type of species that will be coming out. And there's also some photos of the pond dredging. So if you didn't actually see the project but you're curious what it looked like, there's some pictures on the table over there. So our final speaker is going to be Zach Mertz from the New England Wildlife Center, an amazing partner in this project. Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Zach. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Heather. Well, can you guys hear me okay? Awesome. We are so thrilled to be here for a bunch of reasons. One, because after 367 days of caring for 22 turtles, it's a lot, and we're really excited to see them go back to where they belong. But most of all, because we're here with the community. And the fact that I know so many faces in this crowd right now, I think is a testament to the type of community this is and the type of city that Mayor Koch and Commissioner Murphy and Heather all work to protect. We met so many amazing people along the way. We had people from the community come visit them when they were in our care. We had folks, I think, out here in canoes and kids helping us catch them on the first day. And that's really what it's all about. At the Wildlife Center, we are all about community and all about education, and we do that by providing care, usually to one animal at a time, and using it as a learning lab to teach about what's in your neighborhood, what you can do to protect it. And this was that times 22, really. And so when Heather called me, originally asked about this project, we were like, we're in, that sounds amazing. At the time, admittedly, we thought we would get, maybe 20 or so little painted turtles, and like I was like, I went out shopping and I bought one really big bin, and I was like, maybe we'll get a snapper. And then I think on day 3 we had like 8 snappers. And so just some metrics to put that in perspective for you. We're going through about 20 to 30 pounds of fish and turtle food every single week for a year. We're doing about 4,000 gallons of dirty water change and filter cleanings every single week. And these guys were absolutely eating us out of house and home. And in that time, we have grown to love them, as I'm sure you all will and will again. And I just want to say how special this project is for us, not only because it affects so many people and because the community really came together to protect something they care about, but because, as Brian mentioned, a lot of times when you do a project like this, the animals that live there might not make it through the restoration process. And so to be able to remove those turtles and safely care for them, learn about them, and then return them to a place as beautiful as this, where they're going to live for the next, in some cases, decades, it can be up to 50, 60 years, is pretty amazing. So I just want to say thank you to all the partners and the city, and I think we're ready to release some turtles. Yeah.
invasive